Ladies and gentlemen, today we dive into something deep, something often left unspoken, the mystery of how men truly fall in love. Society paints men as simple, emotionless, or detached. But the truth is, the male brain in love is just as powerful, just as vulnerable, and just as transformative as the female heart. When a man falls in love, it's not just about attraction, not just about chemistry. It's about connection, respect, and an unshakable sense of belonging. Men may not always express their feelings the way women do, but behind the silence, behind the strong face, is a brain wired for devotion, loyalty, and protection. And when he truly falls, it changes the very rhythm of his life. Attraction begins with respect. When it comes to how men fall in love, one of the most misunderstood truths is this: attraction may catch a man's eye, but respect captures his heart. The world often tells us men are driven only by what they see, by appearances, by surface-level beauty. And yes, physical attraction can spark interest, but it is shallow without something deeper. What makes that spark grow into something lasting, what makes it move from interest into real love, is respect. Men crave respect the way they crave air, not because they are arrogant, not because they need constant praise, but because respect speaks directly to the core of who they are. Respect says, I see your effort. I value your strength. I honor your presence. And when a man feels respected, it changes the way he shows up. It shifts how he invests, how he commits, and how he allows himself to open up. Think about it. A compliment about appearance may flatter him for a moment, but respect touches his identity. It reaches the part of him that asks, am I enough? Am I capable? Am I trusted? When a man receives respect, it quiets his insecurities and gives him the courage to be authentic. Respect also doesn't mean agreement with everything he does or silence in the face of mistakes. True respect is about the way you communicate, the tone you choose, and the posture you hold. A man can accept correction, he can handle disagreement, he can even endure failure, as long as it comes wrapped in respect. Because respect says, I'm with you, even when I challenge you. I still believe in who you are, even when I question what you did. This is why so many relationships struggle when respect is missing. You can have attraction, chemistry, even fun, but without respect, it all crumbles. Men who feel disrespected often withdraw, shut down, or defend themselves in unhealthy ways. But when respect is present, they do the opposite. They lean in, they invest more, they fight to protect what they've found. Imagine a man who comes home after a long day, carrying the weight of work, stress, and silent battles no one sees. He doesn't need someone to fix him or to take away the burden. What he longs for is respect. A simple acknowledgement like, I know you've been working hard, can light something inside him. Respect reassures him that his effort is not invisible. It tells him he matters, not just for what he does, but for who he is. And here's the deeper psychology. For men, respect is often tied to love itself. Where women often equate love with affection, care, and emotional connection, men frequently equate love with respect. When a man feels respected, he feels loved. When he feels disrespected, he feels unloved. This is not about pride. It is about how his brain is wired to interpret connection. Respect also builds trust. When a man sees that someone respects his thoughts, his decisions, his ambitions, he begins to open his heart. He begins to share more of his world, his fears, his struggles. He stops performing and starts revealing. Respect makes him feel safe enough to risk vulnerability. And in that vulnerability, real love begins to grow. But here's the key: respect must be genuine. Pretending, manipulating, or using respect as a tool to control him will always backfire. A man can sense when respect is real and when it's a mask. Genuine respect is consistent. It doesn't disappear in moments of frustration or reappear only when things go smoothly. It's steady, even when tested. So if attraction begins with respect, what does that mean in practice? It means choosing words that uplift rather than tear down. It means honoring his effort, even if it falls short of perfection. It means believing in his capacity to grow, even when he makes mistakes. Respect is not silence, it's strength under control. It's choosing to express truth in a way that preserves dignity. Attraction that starts with respect becomes the soil in which love can grow. It tells the male brain, this is a place where I can plant my heart, my trust, my loyalty. Without respect, the soil is rocky, and love cannot take root. With it, love becomes steady, resilient, and enduring. So yes, looks may catch his attention, but if you want to capture his devotion, if you want to see how the male brain truly falls in love, it always begins here. Respect is the doorway, and once he walks through it, his heart begins to open in ways that nothing else can unlock. Emotional safety unlocks his heart for generations. Men have been told to be strong, to hold it all in, to never let anyone see them break. The message was clear. Emotions make you weak, vulnerability makes you soft, and silence makes you strong. But when it comes to love, that wall doesn't work. That mask doesn't last. Deep down, every man longs for a place where he can finally breathe, where he can drop the armor, where he can be himself without fear of being judged, ridiculed, or rejected. That place is emotional safety. Emotional safety is not about fixing him or making him perfect. It's about making space for him to be real. A man can face the world with his fists up, but he cannot love with his fists closed. He needs somewhere he can open his hands, lower his guard, and admit, I'm human too. And when he finds that space, when he finds someone who makes him feel safe enough to be vulnerable, his heart opens in ways even he didn't know it could. Think about the male brain for a moment. It's wired to protect, to solve problems, to provide answers. Men often live in solution mode, tackling life like a checklist. Work, provide, achieve, win. But behind that mindset is a quieter question. Do I matter beyond what I can do? Am I valued for who I am? Emotional safety answers that question with a yes. It tells him he doesn't have to earn love by performance, that he doesn't have to wear a mask to be accepted. He can show up messy, uncertain, even afraid, and still be wanted. This is powerful because many men are taught that emotions are dangerous. They're told to man up, when they cry to toughen up, when they hurt to get over it, when they struggle, so they build walls, they put on armor, they carry their battles in silence, smiling on the outside while breaking on the inside. And yet, when they encounter love that feels emotionally safe, something remarkable happens. The wall cracks, the armor loosens, the silence lifts. Emotional safety doesn't mean a man will suddenly pour out his heart overnight. It often comes in small doses. He tests the waters, sharing a little, watching how you respond. If he's met with judgment, mockery, or dismissal, the walls go back up. But if he's met with empathy, patience, and understanding, he shares a little more. And little by little, the fortress comes down. The beauty of this is that once a man feels safe emotionally, love begins to deepen. He no longer loves from the surface, from convenience, or from habit. He loves with his whole self because he's no longer hiding. He invests his dreams, his fears, his doubts, his victories. He doesn't just share his time, he shares his soul. That's when his love moves from temporary to permanent, from shallow to rooted. But here's the truth: emotional safety is not about agreement. You don't have to always agree with him to make him feel safe. What matters is the how. You can disagree without dishonoring him. You can challenge without shaming. You can hold him accountable without crushing his spirit. Emotional safety is not about silence. It's about presence. It's saying, I hear you. I may not feel the same, but I see where you're coming from. Imagine the shift this creates inside a man. He no longer has to choose between strength and love. He realizes the two can coexist. He can be strong in the world and soft at home. He can fight battles outside and find rest inside. Emotional safety tells him that love is not another battlefield. It is a refuge. And here's what's fascinating about the male brain. Once it associates someone with emotional safety, it forms a deep bond. He doesn't just like being around you. He needs to be around you. You become the place where his soul breathes. The more he feels safe, the more he invests, The more he invests, the more he loves. This is why many men will fight harder to protect a relationship where they feel emotionally safe. They know how rare it is. They know how valuable it is, and once they find it, they will guard it with everything they have. So when we ask how men fall in love, here's the answer. Attraction may spark interest, but emotional safety unlocks the door. Without it, love stays shallow. With it, love becomes deep, authentic, and unshakable. Emotional safety is not weakness. It's the soil where a man's strongest love grows. Commitment comes through trust, if respect is the spark, and emotional safety is the doorway, then trust is the foundation. For men, love cannot transform into real commitment without trust. The male brain does not risk its heart lightly. It may take chances in work, in business, or in adventure, but when it comes to giving away his heart, trust is the line he will not cross unless it feels secure. Why? Because men are often raised to be protectors. From childhood, many hear the message, don't get played, don't be a fool, don't let anyone take advantage of you. That mindset can make love feel risky. Giving his heart means exposing himself to possible betrayal. And betrayal doesn't just sting a man, it shatters him. It shakes his confidence, his identity, and even his sense of purpose. That is why, when a man finds trust, it is sacred. It is rare, and it is the very thing that turns interest into loyalty. Trust, for a man, is not built through big, dramatic gestures. It's built in consistency. It's found in the way words match actions. It's in the reliability of someone who says, I'll be there, and actually shows up. It's in knowing that his private thoughts won't be turned into public conversations. It's in seeing that mistakes don't automatically mean abandonment. Over time, these moments accumulate, and his brain begins to relax. The guard lowers, the defenses soften, and the heart starts to commit. Think of it this way. A man can be attracted to many people. He can feel emotionally safe with a few, but he will only commit to someone he truly trusts. Trust tells him, I can build here, I can put my weight down, I can invest my life and not fear collapse. Without trust, love remains temporary. With trust, love becomes permanent. This is why men often hesitate when they sense dishonesty or inconsistency. Even small cracks in trust feel massive to them. If words don't align with actions, the male brain begins to question, am I safe here? Can I give more? Or should I hold back? Because for him, commitment is not partial. Once he decides, he gives everything, but until trust is proven, he keeps his heart guarded. Now, it's important to understand that trust is not perfection. Nobody is flawless. Trust isn't about never making mistakes. It's about honesty when mistakes happen. A man doesn't expect perfection, but he does expect transparency. If he sees integrity even in failure, he feels reassured. He knows he's not building on a lie, and that matters more than spotless performance. Trust also works both ways. A man doesn't just want to receive trust, he wants to give it. When he feels trusted, it motivates him to rise to the occasion. When he senses suspicion at every turn, it drains him. But when someone believes in him, believes in his word, and trusts his leadership, his loyalty grows deeper. He wants to live up to that trust. He wants to prove worthy of it. And here's the truth about the male brain in love. Once it commits, it doesn't take commitment lightly. That's why many men are cautious on the front end. They test, they observe, they wait. Because they know once they put their heart on the line, they're in it fully. And when they are in, they'll fight for it, protect it, and sacrifice for it. Picture this. A man who once kept his emotions locked away finally decides to trust. He hands over his fears, his dreams, his scars. That's not just love, it's courage. And the one who receives that trust holds the key to his deepest devotion. This is why betrayal can wound so deeply. It's not just the loss of a relationship. It's the breaking of the very bridge he used to walk toward love. But when trust is honored, something incredible happens. Love stops being fragile. It becomes strong, resilient, able to withstand storms. He no longer wonders if he's alone in the fight. He knows someone is standing with him. That confidence fuels his commitment. It pushes him to build, to plan, to sacrifice. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. So how do men fall in love? They fall when trust is present. Trust is the bridge between emotion and devotion, between feeling and future. Without it, love stays in the moment. With it, love stretches into tomorrow. Trust tells a man, this is where I can plant my life. And once he plants, he doesn't just give you his heart. He gives you his loyalty, his protection, his entire being. Commitment comes through trust. And when a man commits, it's not just with words. It's with his life. Love turns into purpose for many men. Love is not just a feeling. It's not simply butterflies in the stomach or chemistry that fades after time. When a man truly falls in love, something shifts deep inside him. His love transforms into purpose. Suddenly, he is not just living for himself. He is not just chasing his own dreams, climbing his own ladders, or building his own life. His vision expands, his actions sharpen, his why becomes bigger than himself. The male brain is naturally wired to pursue goals, to conquer challenges, to create progress. Men often measure their worth by achievement, by what they can accomplish, build, or provide. But here's the remarkable thing: when real love enters the picture, it changes the way he sees all of it. Success is no longer just about money, status, or recognition. It becomes about building a future with someone he loves. Love gives his drive a new direction. Think about it. A man who once worked simply to earn now works to provide stability for a family. A man who once chased status for himself now seeks respect for the life he's building together. A man who once pursued goals for his own satisfaction now wants to reach them so he can share them with the one he loves. Love reframes everything. It makes him see that life is not just about what he achieves. It's about who he's achieving it for. This transformation is powerful because it adds meaning to his struggle. Before love, setbacks may feel empty. Challenges may feel pointless. But when love fuels his purpose, even hardship feels worthwhile. He can endure more, sacrifice more, and push through more, because he knows why he's doing it. His love anchors his mission. His purpose keeps his love steady. And here's the fascinating psychology behind it. The male brain connects love with responsibility. When he loves deeply, he doesn't see responsibility as a burden. It becomes his honor. Providing, protecting, sacrificing. These are not chores to him when love is involved. They are privileges. They are proof of his devotion. They are the way he translates his love into action. But let's be clear, this purpose-driven love doesn't mean he loses himself. It doesn't mean he gives up his dreams or silences his individuality. What it means is that love integrates into his dreams. It makes his future richer, his ambitions deeper, and his goals more meaningful. Love becomes the compass that guides his choices. It whispers to him in every decision, "This matters because you're not alone anymore." Now imagine what this does to his daily life. He wakes up earlier, he pushes harder, he avoids distractions that once pulled him away, not because he's forced to, but because he wants to. Love has reshaped his motivation. It's no longer about fleeting pleasure or shallow victory. It's about building something lasting. His male brain ties love with purpose, and that combination gives him unstoppable momentum. This is also why, when men love deeply, they often become more protective, more future-focused, more intentional. Love doesn't make them weaker, it makes them stronger. It doesn't distract them from their mission, it becomes their mission. And because men thrive when they have a mission, love doesn't diminish their identity, it elevates it. But here's the beauty of it: when love becomes purpose, it doesn't just benefit him, it benefits the relationship, the family, even the community around him. His actions ripple outward, his commitment inspires others. His sacrifices create stability for more than just himself. Love turns him into a leader, a protector, a builder. Not because he has to be, but because he wants to be. And this is why men, once they truly fall in love, rarely look back. The feeling of living with purpose is too powerful. Once his brain connects love with meaning, he no longer sees relationships as casual or temporary. He sees them as eternal investments. His choices begin to reflect a bigger vision. He no longer asks, "What do I want today?" but instead, "What are we building for tomorrow?" So yes, attraction may start the journey, emotional safety may open the door, and trust may lay the foundation. But when a man truly loves, it becomes bigger than all of that. It becomes his purpose. Love shifts from something he feels to something he lives. And when a man reaches that point, his love is no longer fragile, no longer temporary, no longer shallow. It is steady, it is devoted, it is purposeful. Love stops being just an emotion, and it becomes his mission. And missions, unlike feelings, don't fade, they endure. So how do men truly fall in love? It isn't by accident. It isn't just about looks, charm, or chance encounters. The male brain follows a deeper path, one that may seem quiet on the surface, but runs strong beneath. It begins with respect. Respect is what speaks to his soul, what tells him he is seen and valued for more than his performance. It's what makes him lower his guard and open his heart. Without respect, attraction fades. But with respect, attraction grows roots. Then comes emotional safety. For a man who has been told his whole life to hide emotions, to wear armor, to stay strong, love invites him to take it off. Emotional safety tells him, you can be real here, you can be vulnerable here, you won't be judged, you won't be mocked, you won't be abandoned. And when he feels that, his love goes from surface, level to soul, deep. But even that is not enough. For his heart to fully commit, trust must enter the equation. Trust is the bridge that carries him from affection to devotion. Trust tells him, you're safe to give everything here, you're safe to risk, you're safe to stay. And when trust is earned and honored, his love shifts into loyalty. He no longer wonders if he should give more. He already has. And finally, love transforms into purpose. A man who loves deeply doesn't just feel it, he lives it. His goals, his dreams, his battles, his victories all become connected to the one he loves. Love doesn't weaken him, it fuels him. It gives him a mission bigger than himself, and that mission becomes his compass. This is how men fall in love. Respect sparks the journey, emotional safety opens the door, trust builds the foundation, and purpose makes it last. Behind every strong man in love is not just a brain wired for logic, but a heart wired for loyalty, devotion, and sacrifice. So if you've ever wondered how men love, it's not halfway, it's not casually, it's not without thought. When a man truly falls in love, he doesn't just love with his words, he loves with his life.